before starting the lesson, I want to remind you something. Like terms, that's more clear. I want to remind you of like terms, how we add like them. If you remember 2x plus 3x, it makes 2 plus 3, 5x. Or 7m minus 9m, it makes negative 2m, because we have like terms here, so we can add and subtract this term. We can combine them, we can put them together. So what we are going to talk about today, it's very similar to that one. So simplifying square root expressions, so how to add or subtract these expressions actually. For example, 5 square root of 3 plus 2 square root of 3. They're like radicands. As you see here, we have square root of 3 and square root of 3. So they are like radicands. So we can combine them together. So we have 5 square root of 3 and another 2 square root of 3. In the total, we will get 7 square root of 3. So there's a long explanation about it, so I'm not going to tell in that video. Just know, if we radicand are same, so we can combine them together. So 5 plus 2 is 7 square root of 3. There is the subtraction one. Square root of 2, let's check, are they like radicand? Square root of 2, square root of 2. So we have 10 square root of 2, and I need to take away 3 square root of 2. So what's left? 7 square root of 2 left. So 10 minus 3 is 7, then square root of 2. Let's make one more example. Minus 5 square root of 5 plus 2 square root of 5. As you see, square root of 5 and square root of 5 like terms. Minus 5 plus 2, it makes minus 3 square root of 5. One more example, that's a confusing one maybe. 3 square root of let's say perfect here. 3 square root of 11 minus square root of 11. So as you see, that's 3 times square root of 11. We have 3, but here I need to take away at least one of them. As you see, there's 1 square root of 11. So 3 minus 1 makes 2. So 2 square root of 11, that's all. So 3 minus 1 square root of 11, it looks like 3x minus x. As you see, we don't write coefficient here, but we know it's 1. So same idea goes for that one. So let's simplify the terms before adding. Previous video, I told that part, if you remember how we use properties. Square root of 32 is 16 multiplied by 2. So minus 2 times 18 is 9 multiplied by 2. So you can say square root of 16 multiplied by square root of 2 minus 2 times square root of 9 multiplied by square root of 2. So I use the property here. So 4 square root of 2 minus 2 times, what's square root of 9? It's 3 square root of 2. As you see, times. So 4 square root of 2 minus 2 times 3 is 6, negative 6 multiplied by square root of 2. So 4 square root of 2 minus 6 times square root of 2. 4 minus 2 is negative 2 square root of 2. So that's how we simplified before adding or subtracting. So 32, you can simplify it as, after this step, it's become 4 square root of 2. And 2 square root of 18, after simplifying it, become not here, sorry, it's become 6 square root of 2. So 4 square root of 2 minus 6 square root of 2, it's become negative 2 square root of 2. Another example, as you see, this time we have variable inside the square root, so it doesn't change anything. Let's simplify. 27 is what perfect square? I need to factorize by 9. So I don't want to use red here, I want to use black color. So let's write 9 times 3 times x. So 3 times x, I don't need to separate it because 3 or x, they are not perfect squares. So negative 3 times 75 is 25 times 3 times x. So I can say 3 times x, 3x, no problem. Plus 2 times 48 is perfect square factorized with perfect. Is it possible? 16 times 3 times x. So as you see, 3x, I'm not going to separate all of them, just I'm going to separate it square root of 9 times square root of 3x minus 3 times square root of 25 times square root of 3x plus 2 times square root of 4, not 4, sorry, square root of 16, not 4, as you see that's 16, multiplied by square root of 3x. Let's see, square root of 9 is 3, 3 times square root of 3x minus 3, square root of 25 is 5, so square root of 25 is be 5, 5 times 3 is 15, minus 15 square root of 3x, oh I forget here x, sorry about it. Same goes here, square root of 16 is 4, 4 times 2, 8, so plus 8 square root of 3x. 3 minus 15 minus 12 plus 8 minus 4, so all of them it will be minus 4 square root of 3x. As you see, they are like radicand. So 3 minus 15 minus 12 plus 8 minus 4 square root of 3x. Okay, to simplify, let's use distributive property. If you remember, there is a multiplication between parentheses and this square root of number. I need to multiply inside the parentheses with all terms. So first I need to multiply 3 square root of 2 multiplied by 3 times square root of 2. Let's write it. So first square root of 2 multiplied by 3 square root of 2 plus I need to multiply by square root of 6. 2 times square root of 6. Okay. If there's a square root of 2, let's write here square root of, I am sorry about that part. 2 multiplied by square root of 2 multiplied by 3. So you can change the place in multiplication. So it's commutative, you can change the order, so it doesn't matter. So 3, I write the whole part here. Square root of 2 multiplied by square root of 2, it will be 2. Plus, I can write under the same 2 times 6. Okay. 3 square root of 2 multiplied by square root of 2 is 2, 3 times 2 plus 2 times 6 is 12. I don't want to write here another step, so here I can write square root of 12, it's square root of 4 times 3, that's equal square root of 4 multiplied by square root of 3, that's equal 2 square root of 3. So I'm going to write here 2 square root of 3, 6 plus 2 square root of 3. So that's the last step because we cannot combine or add them because there's any square root of 3, there's an radicand, so we cannot add or combine them. Here I get a tricky part. I just shortcut here, as you see, 2 times square root of 12. So I can separate 4 times 3. So square root of 4 is 2 square root of 3. So I wrote it here. You can, it will be lots of step. If I write one by one, I just skip that part. Okay, let's use distributive property for that one. As you see, both of them has 2 terms. So is it square root of 2, square root of 3, 3 square root of 2 minus 6. Let's multiply one by one. First I need to take this first number, then multiply by the first one. Then I need to multiply it by the second one. Let's do it. Square root of 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by square root of 2. Then minus, because that's positive multiply a negative number will be negative, square root of 2 multiplied by square root of 6. Then I need to multiply by second one, square root of 3 and another one by 2 number. So 1 times 3 is 3 plus 3 square root of 3 multiplied by square root of 2. And I need to multiply by the second one. positive plus 1 plus minus 1, you can think that way, negative square root of 3 multiplied by square root of 6. Now let's combine them. 3 times under, I'm going to write under the same square root, 2 times 2, let's write 2 times 2, no problem, minus 2 times 6 plus 3 times 2 minus 3 times 6. Here that will be, let's continue all the steps this time. So 3 times square root of 4 minus 12 plus 3 times square root of 6 minus 18. Here 3 times, as you see, I will skip this step because that is equal to 2. 3 times 2 is 6 minus 12 is equal 4 times 3, so square root of 4 and square root of 3, it will be 2 square root of 3, 2 square root of 3. A square root of 6 doesn't have any perfect square, so plus 3 square root of 6 and minus 18, so there's a minus 18. 18 is 9 times 2, so 18 equals square root of 9 multiplied by square root of 2. Instead of that one, I'm going to write here minus square root of 9 is 3, so square root of 2. This is the last step because let's check the radicand. If is there any common radicand? Square root of 3, no, 6 and 2. I don't have any like radicand, so I cannot combine them. I cannot add or subtract them. That's another example. Again, it's same with previous one. It's same with that one. As you see, it's a property. This is equal. Oh, sorry, it's purple. You can use distributive property here. Let's clean that. Okay, purple. I don't want to see that. Okay, let's go. Square root of 2 multiplied minus square root of 3. If this is the square, that means I need to multiply inside this parenthesis 2 times square root of 2 minus square root of 3. You can multiply one by one and get the result. But I want to use another method here. You can solve this one by one. You can multiply each one and you can multiply that one and that one. But I'm going to use another method. Do you remember a minus b squared? From the 8th grades, I think I took a video about that one, probably either, but so what was it? It's equal a squared minus 2 times a times b plus b squared. So what is here a? A is square root of 2. Square root of 2 squared minus 2 times a is square root of 2, b is square root of 3 plus square root of 3 square. So square root of 2, square root of it is 2 minus square root of 2 times square root of 3 here. Together we can combine 2 times 3 is equal square root of 6. So I can write here 2 multiply, because there's a 2 multiply inside the square root of 6. So square root of 2 times square root of 6 plus square root of 3 square is 3. I have 2 plus 3. As you see, there's a 2, positive 2 and positive 3. Together they will be positive 5. 5 minus 2 square root of 6. That's the last step. Okay, it's been a long video, I think. But one more thing I want to mention here. It's rationalized denominator. At denominator, we don't use irrational numbers such as square root of 7, square root of 3, square root of 8. Square root of 4 is not, because square root of 4 is 2. 2 is a rational number, so you don't have to do that for square root of 4, for square root of 16. But if we have square root of 7 here, you need to get rid of this square root of 7 without changing the value. How it's possible? You can multiply or you can multiply denominator and numerator by the square root of 7. So square root of 7 multiplied by square root of 7 will be 7. So square root of 7 divided by square root of 7 1. Actually we are multiplying by 1. So that will be equal 3 times square root of 14 multiplied by 7 over 7. Square root of 7 multiplied by 7 is 7. So 14 multiplied 7, I can say that at least 3 times square root of 2 times 7 over 7. This is equal 3 times 7 times 7, 49. So square root of, sorry about it, 3 times square root of 49 multiplied by square root of 2. Here, let's mention 1 times. 7 times 7 is 49. So 49 comes from there. Over 7. That's equal 3 times 7 multiplied by square root of 2 over 7. If you simplify by 7, this is equal 3 square root of 2. So I get a good answer. So that's all steps. Actually, we have learned only that one things here. How can we get rid of this rational number from the denominator? But the other steps all what we learned in 1, 2 or chapter 1, section 2 or previous examples. Let's do one more example and end this video. As you see, there's a square root of 3. So I need to multiply denominator and numerator by square root of 3. That will be equal 5 times square root of 2 multiplied by square root of 3 over square root of 3 multiplied by square root of 3 is directly 3. So 5 inside the square root of 2 times 3 over 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 5 square root of 6 over 3. So be careful there. And this is the last step because we cannot factorize 6 by a perfect square.